Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The race starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday night Midwest Motorsports iRacing League. Tonight, the Road Series takes on the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. We have completed the stateside tour of the road course circuits, and tonight we're going to go racing in our first European circuit in Spain. Michael O'Dell has put it on the pole with Johan de Roy. You can see we're running the 16 turn layout with the chicane and the short turn 10 section. Expect to see overtakes, lots of action in those high action places as we pass the pit in. Congratulations to Michael O'Dell and the gold Corvette for putting it on the pole as we wait. You can see the grid. We have a huge field tonight. 19 GT3s that take off with Jason Phillips in the red Corvette, the red Acura, steering row 2 with Jason Wahlberg close behind. Michael O'Dell plunges deep into turn 1, and the race is underway. Johan de Roy is not going to give up. Jason Phillips still fighting for third place as Michael O'Dell brings the GT3 field around turn 3. Adam Sondag is joining us tonight. Thanks, Adam, for making the mad dash home from work.
Yeah, it was a bit of a put in a hot lap. Didn't get a chance to get my my shoes up to temp, but I had to put in the lap that I could. So glad I made it on time before we went live. Another nice run from Zach Alexander, Zach and
Yes.
Ronald in the very familiar formation here.
Yes,
But
you'll remember at Sebring, Zach took off and left, and we'll see if anybody has anything for Zach Alexander today.
yeah, Johan had a great look off the start. Looked like he got a great launch. He just was on the outside going into turn 1, unable to do anything. But he is putting his cars in places that Michael O'Dell will need to look in the probably the camera.
Yep.
And just be watching that rear view camera to see where he's at. So getting the tires up to temp, Michael O'Dell already defending.
Into the chicane for the first time. We'll see.
Yeah, not
how
sure if they're
defensive.
familiar with the chicane or not. There are drivers.
10 minutes. 10 minutes of qualifying. The most for Johan de Roy on his tail. No dirty air syndrome for him. Down the long front straightaway to complete lap 1. Michael O'Dell goes defensive. Johan de Roy goes inside. We'll see if he can make it stick. Last lap, Michael de Roy went deep. Johan on the outside. Michael's going to make him work for it. This is Midwest Motorsports Racing. Johan de Roy stays with him around turn 3. Turn 4 is another right-hander. We'll see if Johan de Roy can completely pass. No, Michael O'Dell goes defense. This time, Jason Phillips ready to take whatever leftovers might be of this scrap. Not used to seeing them fight this early for the lead. Into turn 5. Michael O'Dell claiming the inside early down to turn 6. Johan de Roy gets loose. Trying to put down the power. Jason Phillips. We got some action in the front of the GT3 field. Still too wide.
Yeah, Johan getting inside there through the big sweeping turns through Repsol, slowing Michael O'Dell and Johan down. Just neither of them able to put the power down, both on compromised lines, trying to battle for position. That brought Jason Phillips back into that fight. And now Jason Wahlberg right on his tail.
Yes.
Justin Flagg right behind him. So this is as tight as we've seen the front of the GT3 field in a while, and it looks like they might stay that way.
Top 7 are in. Let's not count out Jack Lucas and Christopher Rowe in this group as well. Before we find a gap, Steve Hansel finding the sausage curbs in the chicane.
Jack Lucas
Hopefully
coming
not
back
slowing you down too much.
as a What Apex Racing team member. So
Yes. A new look for the
went away and came back, another What Apex Racing team member. So their recruitment is prolific.
Exactly. I think that makes 8 of them now. Could be wrong. Feels like 20, but it's all good. Midwest Motorsports Road Series signups are always free and always open. So check us out if you want to join us, midwest-motorsports.com. Now Michael Odell stretches out almost a full second gap, but the racing is not over. And Steve Hansel still hanging in there in the Porsche. Great qualifying for him. I mean, to be in the top 10 of this group is pretty amazing. Steve made a manufacturer's change this season. I think he's suiting the Porsche just fine.
Yeah, CJ looks to be coming better to grips with the Acura. I'm not sure. A couple other drivers did make manufacturer changes. But we have some folks returning that haven't been with us in a few minutes.
Yes.
You know, Jack Lucas is back. Is a What Apex race team. I don't know. Is David Wortman a What Apex race team?
David Wortman.
He's still just David Wortman, but he's back.
Looks like. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, David. Really glad David's been a long time Midwest Motorsports Series member. Very glad to have you back.
Yeah, the original What Apex race team man back here in action. So good to see him back in here. We'll see how he runs with the crew. That front pack still within a second all the way back to Steve Hansel. Justin Thaler behind them, continuing top 10 driving with the Mustang, the only Mustang. No one else brave enough.
Crazy enough.
Yeah, Detroit is not well represented here. One Corvette
Justin
and one Mustang.
Seems to do pretty good though. Yeah, he loves it. Gets him good top 10 runner every season. .9 miles in 16 turns is the circuit of Barcelona. Jet Miller and the good-looking Porsche under attack from Travis Rowe and the BMW.
I think something not necessarily overlooked, I think it's talked about well during F1 races, the elevation here is subtle. I know it, at least in reality with F1, with that elevation, that mixed with different tailwinds and crosswinds can wreak havoc on an F1 car with all that aero. Probably not as much of a factor in the simulator, but once tires get worn out, people trying to get power down, going through some off-camber elevation changes might be in trouble. So something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely, especially the turn 7, 8, 9 section. Going from the lowest elevation to almost the highest. Jet Miller was a GT4 runner last season. Made his way up to the GT3s. Johan de Rooij taking his time now, finding his zone, finding a rhythm. He's done with the initial attack. Now everybody's just kind of settling in a groove to crank out some laps before we go 2 pit stops for the GT3s, 1 pit stop for the GT4 cars.
Might be trouble for David Wortman already. he's slow coming back up to speed.
In the
Oh,
chicane
overcooked.
section.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just overcooked. Sometimes the
Off throttle. Oversteer.
Memorial Day is the first great grilling holiday of the year, so sometimes people leave their hot dogs on the grill a little too long, a little overcooked. That's okay.
I like a little char on my hot dog skin every now and then.
Action back in the middle of the back of the GT3 field.
Whoa. Under attack. Keegan Bahari on Ian Bakaitis. It's a drag race down the front straightaway. Keegan Bahari on the inside. In the Porsche, Ian Bakaitis, the gentleman that he is, leaves plenty of room. Taking the curbing. He might be under attack from Jason Geyer from behind. Nope, not yet. Ian Bakaitis still leaves room around the long, seems like forever for those almost 180-degree turns 3 and turn 4. Ian Bakaitis still holds on to the position, leaving room and keeping momentum. Into the grass. 2 wheels off and lost all grip. He's going to lose 3 positions because of that. See if he can angle the back of this group here. But incredible racing, even 15.
This is their last 4 positions in the GT3 field, and they're going back and forth like this. So Ian will be frustrated for that off track and losing grip with that, but I'm sure he'll eventually draft back in.
The Mission 22 BMW. And on the GT4, Zach Alexander's got almost a 4-second lead.
Yeah, he's really flipped a switch with this GT4 Cayman. Really come to grips with this car. Very comfortable. Consistently putting in huge qualifying, taking advantage of his opportunities. He's been fast all season.
Ron Cabiltas also has a pretty good record so far, and the GT4s especially. Very comfortable with the AMG Mercedes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Justin Shoup,
Zach Alexander
running third here.
I was just mentioning Zach Alexander leading the points, but Ron Cabiltas holding on to the top 5. Justin Shoup, I think he missed a race earlier this season, but still holding on. Good run at Daytona for Justin Shoup. Now Jason Phillips in third, watching the 2 leaders drive away.
Yeah, they pulled a little bit on him, and he's got Justin Flagg right on him. Justin Flagg showed up and immediately started putting his car at the front of the field.
New paint for, no, he still got the blue on one side. That's throwing me off. But yeah, we're coming up on the GT4 traffic, so this is going to be the last time that Odell and DeRoy are going to have a clean lap without traffic.
Yeah, pretty decent spread. It's almost, I don't know, what a third of the track covered by GT4 right now. So it's going to take a minute for them to work through this, especially with the chicane and these long sweeping turns.
We saw traffic a big factor last week in Sebring.
Yeah, I think that
big move.
If you're opportunistic, you might be able to either overcut in some clean air or take an undercut to try to come out in clean air. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that's still, I'm not sure who that was, Travis?
Yeah.
A little bit of kitty
saw
litter.
BMW.
Yeah, might hit the car wash later. But I think that traffic being a factor in pit stops is, still somewhat new, I think, on the GT3s with the number of stops that they're running. So we're still seeing adjustments and people kind of taking different things into account.
Of all the Team Mort paints, I do like CJ's the best. And Jason Wahlberg hold off Jack Lucas. So far, so good.
And they're still at it. They've now found David Wortman. Work through the inside of him, through the chicane. Easy enough.
They make it look easy. I tell you, this is so difficult to do lap after lap after lap, even with somebody on your tail especially.
Yeah,
they make it look easy, but it's not.
For David, I think the last time he ran, it was entirely a GT4 field with the amateur and the pro classes. So, you know, getting mixed between classes was a little bit different now that, you know, you have the different pace coming through there, but took a nice line and allowed the two cars through without trouble. So it looks like he's feeling pretty comfortable. Jack Lucas taking advantage of the traffic to try to push in on Jason Wahlberg. Christopher Rowe back there trying to keep touch with this group.
There he goes. We have a battle for second place now in the GT4s. Ron Caviltas in the Gulf Mercedes under challenge from James Zengi in the blue and white Porsche of James Zengi and Justin Shoup not far behind, but can James Zengi get a slipstream from the hole being punched in the air by the Mercedes? We'll find out. Slipstream doesn't seem to have as big of an effect, but he's gaining.
Yeah, he's getting a good tow right now, I think. Not going to force the issue, but the AMG is a nice big unit.
Carrying speed through turn 3. James Zengi filling the mirrors.
Yeah, the Porsche is just going to be a little bit more comfortable going through, you know, turns of this speed where Ron's going to be worried about the rear end breaking loose. See that? Oh, under braking, almost maybe a touch.
Slight touch. No harm, no foul. Good, hard, clean racing. James Zengi, full control of his car. I've seen him have really good battles before as kitty litter being spread across the circuit.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that big sausage curb there. This is bringing Justin Shoup and Nick Aslan up into the battle for the top 3 positions in GT4. So they've got to be excited to see this.
I think he has to look in the mirror as well, because we have Justin Shoup and Nicholas Aslan, second or winner at Daytona. More GT3 action. Jack Lucas and Christopher Rowe. The McLaren of Jack Lucas under attack.
Nicholas Aslan to go now.
Going for it. Braking zone pass. Can he complete it? Justin Shoup says, I'll be back. Let you go this time. Stay with the leaders. Try not to lose as much, or lose as little time as possible as these guys defend and attack. You really want to chase the leaders, Zach Alexander and Ron Caviltas. Sold out crowd today at Catalunya.
Looks like. Sorry, the pit lane cams aren't very good here. Justin Thaler's in the pits, so
First one to make a stop.
He's taking that stop. Multi-car incident, it looks like.
Oh no, what happened?
Try to see if we can get something pulled up
GT4
here.
of Aaron Mitchell.
Steve Hansel, Aaron Mitchell, Denny Locke. Here's Steve. Car looks okay. Let's see if we can get back to the start of this clip. Steve going.
Oh, Steve's
sideways. That might be just unrelated to the other incident. There might be two incidents here. So Steve just spun it around. Not sure what happened with Denny and Aaron, so sorry about that. We'll keep trying to work on compliance from our replay system. But now Christopher Rowe is around Justin Flagg. Christopher was waiting for somebody to make a misstep in that group. Found his chance. And now Jack Lucas is all over. Jason Wahlberg continues to be all over. Pablo Araya makes room for them to cut through.
Hey Pablo, welcome back, Queen. We see you on the stream. Glad you're back. We see you, Brian. Hey Tim. Chase Fincher watching from the sideline, babysitting, spending time with family. Good to see you, Chase. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Bring you the action from Barcelona. GT4 action, James Zengi on the outside of Cabiltas. You give him room, he leaves plenty of room. At the hard braking of turn 10. And Cabiltas holds on for now. What great racing side by side with Nick Aslin, Justin Shoup, and I think a GT3 car working through here. I think that's Jason Phillips.
Yeah, it is.
Working his way through.
Yeah,
so Jason,
he's going to be respectful of their
yes.
battle and not push anything. But he's going to need to make some time because Jason Wahlberg's right there. So he'll
go.
The battle between Jack Lucas and oh, it looks like did Justin Flagg pit? Yeah, he did. So Justin Flagg moved down the order, so he's going to come in and go ahead and pit. Only Justin Thaler has pit thus far. Jason Wahlberg also coming in. So those are the first pit stops. Everybody else going longer. Justin Thaler going 10 laps. These guys going 12. So we'll have to see what the strategy is, how far people are able to push. Michael Odell making his way up behind Zach Alexander.
Over almost 2 seconds now. The gap for Michael Odell, 2 seconds over Johan DeRoy as they work their way through traffic before their first stop.
Yeah,
Michael Odell's on a mission.
I heard Johan on the radio about someone moving during braking, so I'm not sure what happened, if he had an incident or if something happened, but that might be why they separated a little bit. Looks like the front end of that Porsche might be a little out of shape.
You have to remember, this is a race. Everybody's trying to get the most they can out of it. It's one of those racing things. More traffic. Oh, battle. Keegan Bahari and John Daniels. John Daniels in the Ferrari.
Oh,
spins out. Trying to get around. That's Justin Glickner as well. John Daniels gathers it up, grabs a gear. Just trail braking. Looks like he came to a sudden stop. Slowest corner on the track. Trying to
I
make sure
don't
not
think
to
that.
hit Glickner.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sure he did hit Glickner. Contact.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Shouldn't be too damaging, but probably unexpected to say the least. Huge opportunities here in the pits. Jason Phillips, Steve Hansel, CJ Barzak, Chet Miller, Travis Rowe, Keegan Bahari, Jesse Coffey. So
We'll see
lots
if
of.
Glickner has to do some repairs here.
It should have been pretty square, so we'll see. But Nick Moffitt looked like he was also okay out of that. In the GT4, he didn't look like he didn't expect anybody to come up the inside there. Johan able to claw some time back. So Jason Phillips is your leader on those, for those who have pitted. The first 7, the top 7 in GT3 have not taken pit stops yet. So we'll see how long they decide to run.
Justin Shoup now on James Zingy.
Yeah, Nick
Looks like
Aslan
Nick
made his
Aslan.
way. Yeah, he made his way up to second. So
Well, nice move, Nick.
now Michael Odell and Johan DeRoy in. Jack Lucas in as well. Christopher Rowe is coming in. Will John
The
Daniels
tank is
come in?
empty.
We've seen John Daniels do some mega saves before. We've seen John Daniels eat some sausage right there. Tim Odell on the 18th hole. I'm surprised he's not at the 19th hole.
Decided to eat too much sausage.
Yeah, 19th hole is next, Timsy.
I could use one after my commute.
You're right about John Daniels, though, staying out. Only one
Yeah.
to go 14 laps.
Yeah, I don't know if he. I've never asked him if he sits down and tries to map out what he can do on a stint as far as his save. I know he does like to do endurance races, so I'm sure it's something he thinks about, but I don't know if he has a spreadsheet and sits down and does his math, or if he just says, I think I can do more. Sometimes the math gives you more confidence than it's worth. But
Best laid plans. At least he came in with a strategy. I usually just wing it. A lot of these guys are
Sure.
winging it.
yeah, still a gap. Michael Odell picking up a little bit of time on the pit stop. Johan was coming in with about a second. Might have picked up maybe about half a second there through that pit cycle. John Daniels is going to come in now. But he went 5 laps longer than Justin Thaler.
Yep.
Only 1 lap longer than your race leaders, so might have helped if he didn't have that look up the inside there. You know, maybe a little more conservative on that move. Take the time. Might have been able to make up some ground here.
3 wide. Around the outside.
As it stands, John's probably going to come out. Looks like he still has some time.
16.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming
That's right
out
about where he was.
15th. Yeah.
I think. He made contact with Glickner. I think that's right about where he came out. In that group.
Justin Thaler in 5th, so undercut looks good.
Yeah, undercut looks great.
Yeah.
He is going to be
really
the first
nice.
one to stop, but if he can go 15 laps from his first stop,
Lift and coast, lift and coast.
35.
Use your tools. I didn't listen to enough IndyCar spotting during the 500. Always a joy to hear use your tools a million times.
It's got to be annoying from the driver. Oh no, Daniel's with a black flag. Maybe he's speeding.
No, that the incident there from coming up the inside.
Cleared. Gotcha. Jesse Coffey making the stream tonight, fighting with Ian Bakaitis to go around Aaron Mitchell.
Pretty good group of drivers here in the back of the pack here.
Ian Bakaitis, the GT4 champion. Jesse Coffey, we know he's fast everywhere he goes. Hard to believe he's struggling to get in the top 15. We have a drag race.
Yeah, that's shades of Atlanta. three wide multi-class action. All we need is a couple more What Apex race team cars in the shot.
Christopher Rowe, 5th. Jack Lucas, 6th. Justin Flagg, 7th. This is all happening about... And Justin Taylor's right up here in this group, too. Justin Flagg eyeballing Jack Lucas.
Yeah, he looks to be pulling in hard. So pit stops for Nick Aslin, James Angie, Pablo Araya, Cody Height, and Denny Locke.
Right at the 30-minute mark.
John Aslin might be taking some repairs. Kyle Ryan's still out, as well as Justin Shute, Ron Kabiltes, Zach Alexander. Oh no!
Traffic jam.
Something happened.
What happened to Ron?
Yeah, he just jumped to the pits. See if we can get it to... Oh no, that's around. Coming through the chicane. Last turn.
Oh.
That's too much sausage. Well, luckily it's right at pit entrance.
Decided to eat too much sausage.
Justin reminds us one more time. That's really unfortunate for Ron after a great race.
Yeah, I mean, if he was going to come in anyway, potentially,
yeah.
And the penalty for taking the tow shouldn't be significant. Usually you're taking a tow from, you know, the other side of the track and you have to wait a couple minutes to get in, but it shouldn't be too bad of a penalty from where he was at. So
I hope they take that into consideration.
You would think they would, but, you know.
We'll go back to Justin Taylor.
He's wheels up now, so.
Justin hopefully not holding these guys up too much. I say that in jest, of course. Only because Justin Taylor did a super smart thing by staying on pace and coming in early to pit stop. That may have saved him some lap time in traffic. And now he's fighting for his spot. Love to see it. These guys are going to have to work to get around him. Steve Ansel in that group too. You know, this track really is popular. It's been around, I think 1991 was the first F1 race. As we see another drag race with DJ Barzak and Chester Miller.
Not sure if they've been around since 1991.
Right, maybe before these guys were born.
And
Don't know.
in this league, you're either, you remember, you barely remember what you were doing then because you were, it was so long ago where you weren't born. So that's part
Either
of,
way,
I think that's one of the beauties of sim racing as a hobby, to get in and, uh, you know, chat with Norm and some of the other old boys who hold it down, and then have some of the other people hurt your feelings by telling you that they were uh, born after
yeah.
9/11. So
This track is in almost every sim there is, from console. Well, definitely a favorite. Their endorsement fee must not be too much to get the rights to make the track, but just about everybody's familiar with this layout. Of course, the physics might be different. Travis Road,
ooh,
realizing physics, and look at that. That was Keegan Bahari, I think. It's 2-for-1 sale.
yeah, he
Nice job
shot
to
the gas
avoid
there.
those guys too, but yeah, take that. Thank you very much.
2-for-1
Keep the change.
special.
Bahari and the Porsche on the outsides to go around Justin Shoup.
Yeah, I
Bahari
mean,
lets
from
these
this
guys fight
position,
it out.
it doesn't look like he has anything. Oh, Justin Shoup, I think, got spun on that.
What a touch. Oh, did he spin? He was
Yeah,
trying to not to hit. He was trying not to hit Keegan. What a great racing move. This is Midwest Motorsports racing. Tough for Justin Shoup. Oh, I hate to see that he lost any ground. Just an innocent bystander, a product. And Jack Lucas on Christopher Rodow going around turn 4. Coming up the left-hander of turn 5. Christopher Rowe is going to have the advantage, as well as Justin Flagg. Step on the loud pedal. Justin Thaler's got to like to see cars side by side behind him. Steve Hansel now ready to take over. Any leftover scraps?
yeah. After the pit cycle, Steve right back up to where he was. The big mover through that cycle is Justin Thaler up 6 positions. Chet Miller up 3, Keegan Bahari up 4. We saw him take 2 of those just a moment ago. Right now, Nick Moffitt, Kevin Bridges, and David Wortman are yet to pit in the GT4s. Nick Moffitt should be in good position when he comes out from the pit stop, but
Going as long as you can. I like the matte black, polished black paint on this.
yeah, sometimes you got to go in and mess with all the settings there on your map. John running at the back after that drive-through from that incident. Incident responsibility deemed by the stewards.
JT holding down 4th place.
David Wortman, Kevin Bridges into pit. Nick Moffitt still running. Looks like GT4 is pitted anywhere between lap 13 and just now on lap 19. Zach Alexander in on lap 18. He's side by side with Nick Aslan.
This could be for the lead.
Yeah,
and Nick Moffitt pits.
Yeah, they're only 28 seconds or so behind Nick Moffitt, so his pit stop will take more than that. Looks like it
Nicholas Aslan.
about 50 seconds, give or take 5. 47 is the quickest stop for James Zangi. So you expect
Zach Alexander's
to come out
Yeah,
somewhere.
sorry.
I was just going to say, you expect him to come out somewhere back by Ron Cabiltes and Kevin Bridges in 10th. Nick Aslan really feeling good here. I think the McLaren should be pretty nice here with these long straights, allowing it to get through that power band and pull down the straightaways. It's not going to like those sausage curbs.
Doing a good job staying off of them.
You want to keep your car on a diet.
Looking for Justin about 3 more laps before stopping for fuel. He might be able to go to the end now if he stops.
Been almost 12 laps since he stopped. We're only going 10 the first.
Daniels went 14 or 15. I think that's the outside. And speaking of the devil, there he goes. Drops into the pits. Open track now for Christopher Rowe to crank out some lap times while Justin Thaler stops for fuel.
Yeah, the
We'll see if he
GT4
comes out
car is
in traffic.
pretty spread out now.
Johan de Rooij's not spread out from Michael Odell. He is right on his tail. Under a second. The threat is real. Johan de Rooij finding his groove. Michael Odell can no longer afford to be patient, lapping some of these GT4s. Johan de Rooij attacking as well. The hunt is on. Cue the Jaws theme.
Oh no, I had the wrong delta. Nick Moffitt came out in 4th. So running long for Nick Moffitt, working out okay. He's had strong finishes all season long. Ron chasing Kevin Bridges after that spin, trying to work his way back up, down 9 positions from where he started. Nick Aslan, the big mover in GT4, up 7 spots. Zach gonna throw it up the inside.
He does. Nick Aslan sees him. That was from deep. From downtown, he sent it. Zach Alexander reclaiming P1.
It looked like they had some rub there, but nobody really put off line or changed in the way they were turning.
So I'm noticing that Zach Alexander spent 37 seconds stopped in the pits. Everybody else in the 26s. So maybe Zach Alexander took 4 tires. Here's that pass. One more again from downtown. Nick Aslan sees it. It may have been the slightest bit of contact. Up close and personal, staying within the track limits. Zach Alexander makes the move. Was there contact?
Just
a little kiss.
Yeah. Wow.
Cover your eyes, boys and girls.
Yeah, great racing from both. Nick still in.
Letting the
touch
leaders
there.
through.
Yeah. Johan really with the bit in his mouth now.
Michael Odell feeling the nerves. on the final corner, turn 16. Johan DeRoy on the inside, that may hurt his run. No contact. Johan DeRoy lifts just long enough to make sure that he avoids contact. Michael Odell swerving. Can Johan DeRoy send it? Keeping it side by side through turn 2. Michael Odell leaving room. This is the race for the lead of the race. Michael Odell carries speed through. Johan DeRoy tries to cross over. Can't do it for turn 3. Down to turn 4 they go. Johan DeRoy's going to have to mount another attack.
Yeah, we've seen it before. It really, these moves are set up turns in advance, having to position yourself so that you get the inside at the optimum time. Being on the outside isn't going to work with how slow it is to get all the way around those sweeping turns.
They just go on forever and ever, it seems. Turn 3 and turn 4, tire eaters.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like the carousel at Road America where, you know, you kind of feel like you're making some progression and able to progressively throttle up. It feels like you just can't put the power down going through these.
Still expecting a pit stop, not this time.
Johan looks like he's trying to maximize all of his exits here. It's a great run. This is where he made the challenge last lap. Michael making sure not to leave anything open. Incident limits coming up for a couple cars. It's like the 42 and the 16 drive-throughs for incidents. '42 of Jason Geyer and the 16 of Taylor Montague. Ian Bakaitis is backwards as the leaders cut through. He had a whole offering of sausage here. Doesn't look like he cooked it coming into the original to the start, just cooked it there in the middle, spun the rear end around, backing over. Hopefully his under tray is undamaged. Wait for the leaders to go by and get back on his way, so that will be too damaging, but still not ideal. Meanwhile, Zach Alexander back up in the inside of Nick Aslin. Nick will have the inside as we go all the way around here into Repsol. Ian Bakaitis behind them, making his way back on. He'll be a lap down to Christopher Rowe if Christopher Rowe is able to catch him. Jack Lucas behind them.
GT4 battle has not gone away. Zach Alexander through traffic trying to let, I believe that's Jack Lucas, go. Jason Phillips gets around Justin Shoup.
Yeah, Jason, the leader of the cars who have taken 2 stops. Michael Odell, Johan DeRoy, Christopher Rowe, Jack Lucas, and Chet Miller all yet to take a second stop. John Daniels yet to take a second stop. We'll see if he's able to take another long run there. Battle for first in both classes going on right now. Both 0.2 difference between the first 2 cars in GT3 and GT4.
Flopping places again, and yeah.
Try to keep track of them as they come into different braking zones and passing zones.
Great job, Adam. Thanks for all you do. I know it's difficult keeping up with 35 cars in a race. Can't be everywhere all the time.
Yeah, I know we miss some stuff that happens, but there's too much of it.
So much. Great racing in the Midwest Motorsports League. Thanks to everybody for joining us and tuning in. Michael Odell still having to drive defensive. Turn 10. Heavy braking zone.
Johan might not want to see gold for the next week.
Right. Tired of looking at the back of a Corvette. Into the pits they come.
Dive in.
Johan has been known to short pit and then fuel save. Let's see if he tries something tricky like that here.
Christopher Rowe still yet to pit. He's diving in as well.
Good call.
Jack Lucas coming in. Jason Phillips.
Where's Jason?
Jason's
Where's
still
he gonna
coming
come out?
around. I think.
In front of Christopher Rowe? Behind
No.
Jack Lucas? It'll be close.
So Michael Odell and Johan DeRoy out. Christopher Rowe in his pit stall. Jack Lucas in his pit stall. Jason Phillips getting onto the front straight. Christopher Rowe burning out. This is the battle for third position. Jason
goes.
Phillips will take it.
But Christopher Rowe is going to be on him for the next 8 minutes and 4 seconds.
Jason stopped on lap 26, so 2 laps ago, so his tires should be perfectly in range. Doesn't look time-wise. People may not have taken tires there. I'm not sure what the time cost is there, but Johan saying last week that he was able to come back into action because he did not change tires and had tires that were already in range.
Great point, Christopher Rowe, 9.3 on the stop. Jason Phillips, 12.6. Jack Lucas, 10.6. Steve Hansel, 11 second stop. So that's right in there with the reason for the movement, track position.
Justin Flagg trying to get around Steve Hansel. Steve on the inside. Will be on the outside through this next series of turns once they get through this.
Battle for 6th in the GT3s is on. Steve Hansel with the outside line. That's not going to be helpful. They come into the chicane section. Now he has the inside. Can Justin Flagg hang on? Side-by-side action. I'm sorry. Justin Flagg had to really work for that one.
Steve maximizing those exits, dipping.
And it's not over
his
yet.
tire.
Pablo Araya, a moving chicane. Good on you, Pablo. Just hold your line. Justin Thaler blinking. And that's huge for Steve Hansel to be in front of Justin Thaler.
Now Steve is not going to let you go. Ever since he's gotten into this Porsche, he has been aggressive.
Bragging rights for the Midwest Motorsports admin group is on between Steve Hansel.
Your top admin, Steve Hansel. Justin Thaler right behind him, though.
Bragging rights are good for a whole week. Uh-oh, lap traffic.
Bumper
3
quarter.
wide.
Door.
Yeah. Not quite clear. Justin Thaler takes over.
Clear, clear. Inside if you want it.
Position 7 for now. Still 5 minutes to go.
Wow. Huge in the admin points battle.
Yes. Another 3-way battle.
CJ Barzak up the road.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Ryan hits him.
Oh, no.
Is that Travis Rowe? Oh, totally incidental, but man, just a backup traffic jam. Turn 10.
Yeah. Kyle trying to tuck back in on this group as they go by. Not sure how we lost the replay there and we were right on it, but
yeah, all good.
Now Steve under attack from Jason Wahlberg. He's going to give it up. Able to get up the inside. Trying to be able to hold it here. Both these cars pretty good under cornering. This is all to the benefit of Justin Thaler, who gets some breathing room.
The GT4 lead battle continues. Zach Alexander back in front.
I see 5 lead changes between these two.
Awesome.
In the past minute, so they've been trading back and forth, probably as they came through the big sweeping turns. See the difference in line there as Zach defends.
What an awesome battle. Where's Jack? Gonna squeeze through these guys. You got Justin Flagg on his tail. Here we go into the chicane. Carry as much speed there as you can, flat out through turn 16. The GT3 should be able to get by now as Zach Alexander weaves on the front straight to try to break any slipstream he can. But now he's stuck. Aston gonna follow Flagg up the inside. Nope, not this time. Not gonna. He's only got 2 more laps as Flagg gets sideways under braking. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Justin Flagg. Out of position 8. 9th, I mean. Luckily has a little bit of breathing room. Not gonna lose any spots. Yeah.
Really lucky to get that thing slowed down before getting into the wall. Just right back out on some dirty tires, but nobody really nearby to challenge him at this point. Has some time, but the group of Justin Thaler, Jason Wahlberg, and Steve Hansel now through. That group also bringing some separation for Zach Alexander.
Right.
Jason Wahlberg's battles didn't appear to leave any breathing room for Justin. Now he's going to be under attack. Has 1.5 minutes to try to hold this down.
after racing for a full hour, a little bit more if you consider qualifying, especially fatigue, maybe slipping in, just a little bit of trail braking air throwing its head.
Yeah, early in the warm season, people might not have their AC on yet.
DJ right on the tail of Chester Miller.
It looks
And
like
now it makes him vulnerable. Justin Glickner.
Looks like somebody
DJ
put
looks
their
fast.
bumper into the rear of Jason. That Marlboro is pushed in like a soft pack.
Look at CJ Barzak going in deep on Chester. And now Justin Glickner is going to take advantage as well. CJ Barzak in the last minute, second to last lap, taking the white flag, not holding back.
Yeah, Justin has a pretty good run here. Looks like he's moving pretty quick.
Chrome horn.
They're not done up here up front. Jason Geyer in front of them.
They may not be the end of it. They may get one more lap. Did they fuel? Do they consider one more lap for fuel? Johan DeRoy on it. 7 seconds. This could be the last lap. I'm not sure if they took white last time. I'm going to say yes because time has expired. 1 hour is over. The final lap to the checkered flag. Michael Odell, flag to flag win. Coming across the line. Checkered flag for Michael Odell. It's official. Johan DeRoy, so close, less than a second. And Jason Phillips, a wonderful, hard-earned 1.6 second lead over fourth place Christopher Rowe. Congratulations to Jason Phillips for making it back on the podium.
Yeah,
Sure, he'll be pleased with that.
He's definitely been due. He's been owed one, I feel like. Had some bad luck.
Jack Lucas rounds out the top 5, and the GT4 race for the win goes to the chicane. Justin Thaler, P6, in front
the
of
admin class.
Yeah, Steve Hansel, Jason Wahlberg, completing their race. Position 2 for GT4s and the winner, Zach Alexander. What a great race as everybody completes their finishing lap. This is Midwest Motorsports.
Take third.
Awesome race today. Man, that's exciting.
Great return from Pablo. Top 5 for Pablo. Making it back in. Shout out to the Queen. Top 5 for you there. David Wortman, top 10 after his return. Nice finish from him. Take a look at your race results here.
Welcome back, David. Glad to have you.
Michael Odell able to hold off Johan DeRoy. It was a battle from the drop of the flag to the end of the race. Johan was all over Michael Odell, not able to make it around and stay. Jason Phillips able to make his way up into third. Great run from Jason. Christopher Rowe also fast all day long. Jack Lucas making it back in with the crew. Haven't seen him in a minute. Back in with the McLaren this time. No Mercedes. McLaren's best. Mercedes sucks, according to Jack's old car. Justin Thaler with the undercut was able to make some good time up. Still able to hold off the group of Jason Wahlberg, Steve Hansel. Jason Wahlberg 7th, Steve Hansel 8th. Justin Flagg losing it in the chicane at the end, going back to 9th. Justin Gleckner into 10th. Chet Miller 11th, CJ Barsak 12th after making some late overtakes. Travis Rowe 13th, John Daniels in 14th. The overcut was looking okay for John, but the drive-through for incident responsibility ultimately ruining his day. Jesse Coffey, Keegan Bahari, Jason Geyer, and Ian Bakaitis rounding out your group. for the pros. Your AM division, once again, Zach Alexander puts it on pole and puts it on the top step, but not without some battle from Nick Aslan. Nicholas Aslan was all over Zach at the end. Just the last 5 minutes or so, Zach able to break through with some GT3 traffic and get some breathing room. Great battle between Nick and Zach. Nick able to take the lead for a while. Zach taking it back. James Zangi with a great run, finishing third. Nick Moffitt fourth. Pablo Araya back in the saddle, fifth place. Kyle Ryan sixth. Justin Shoup seventh. Cody Height in eighth. David Wortman joining us after a spell away from the league, ninth. Kevin Bridges 10th. Ron Kabiltes with that incident dropping back to 11th. Aaron Mitchell 12th. Denny Locke 13th. Taylor Montague 15th. And John Aslan 15th. Sorry, Taylor Montague 14th.
Incredible racing in the Midwest Motorsports Road Series. Thanks to everybody for joining us. We have our GT4 winner, Zach Alexander. Man, you and Nicholas Aslan out there, looks like y'all had a great race from start to finish. Congratulations on a great race, Zach.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I had actually gotten confused at the end because before I went in for my first pit, I had built up a pretty large gap, like 20 seconds, and I knew I wanted to take all four tires, so I knew I needed a push. And when I came back out and Nick was in front of me, I thought Nick hadn't pit yet. My overlays were telling me one thing, and I'm there like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, oh my God, he just pit too. I was like, oh dear God. I think I sweat out 5 pounds of water weight that last 15 minutes getting to race with Nick. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was such a good time. I knew exactly what he was going to do every time. He, just being able to race door to door just adds to the experience. So I had an absolute blast out there.
Well, you had us on the edge of our seats. I tell you, that late braking dive bomb into turn one probably happened more than once. We caught it at least once on the screen. You had to have a lot of confidence to go in there deep, and you took 4 tires. Did you know that going in? Was that a game time decision?
No, I had been practicing all weekend, and I was so focused on learning the track that I completely forgot to even think about tire wear. And I think I had gotten out at one point and everything was in the 80s or the 70s, and I didn't really think otherwise. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take all 4. And so I knew I was going to need to take a big time gap because beforehand I heard some of the guys talking about only taking 2, not taking any. And I was like, well, this is going to be awkward. So I was very fortunate that traffic didn't hurt too much, but it was a scary change once I got back out of the pits thinking to myself, uh-oh.
Well, it was a lot of fun watching. Adam, you got anything for our GT4 winner?
No, the gold teeth are looking great. Looks
We
like
noticed.
Roxy will have a full grill here in a minute. But I think Nick has something he'd like to say about it. So I mean, it was a great battle there. Glad you enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching it. Looked like the McLaren was running well with those long straights, but another great run. Congrats to you for putting together a string of them and remaining consistent.
No, I appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of help from the guys in the league, and they're helping me learn every day, and just getting in and practicing more with everybody is just making me a better driver. So I'm just lucky to have these guys around me making me better every time I get in the cockpit.
Absolutely. How would somebody join the league, Zach?
I believe they would go to our website, Midwest Motorsports, and sign up from there.
You would be right.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't know. Good job, Zach.
Hey, come have some fun with us.
This is 2 in a row for you after Sebring. You got bragging rights for 2 weeks as we're off next week before going to the endurance race at Spa. So congratulations on a great race, Zach.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
That's Zach Alexander, your GT4 winner, battling hard with Nicholas Aslan. Comes in second. And your winner, well, Michael Odell, you can finally breathe. You can unclench your backside because Johan de Roy is not breathing up it anymore. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. Man, that was like? We had a good fight. That was awesome. At first there was a lot of times I'm like praying iRacing doesn't turn our cars into glue because I mean we saw what happened last week when you get a little bit close, the cars just stick and then people fly off. I'm like, me and him with how close we were getting a few times, like just don't glue, and then it was the switchback side by side through corners, just going carving through GT4s. I'm hoping we gave them some space, but also some space in our mind might be like a few millimeters.
Right. Right. Well, it was great, man. Did you know Catalunya from prior to practicing for this race? I know there's on all the sims, and you spent a lot of time at this track.
Last time I think I ran here was GT4, and then maybe a Ferrari challenge on an alternate layout, but this isn't a frequent flyer track.
Roger that. Adam, what you got for our GT3 and overall winner?
Not a lot. I mean, how much were you watching the rear view mirror there? I mean, almost from the jump, Johan got a great launch off the start, and was really right on your tail from the start on the same strategies mostly the way through. But I mean, how much were you able to keep your eyes forward and versus trying to worry about where you were going to set up and position your car?
Honestly, it was a 50-50 juggle for the opening stint, and then if he was within like a half a second, it was like, okay, I can vary it. So basically what I was doing is I would use the relative, and I'd use the rear camera in the car, and if I saw, okay, he's at this point, if I was him, I would be waiting, and then I'll go 1 or 2 car lengths out from the regular line, and that's enough. But if I see him charging up with a vengeance, I'm like, okay, he wants to go now. So in that case, at minimum, mid-track. Because the thing was that, like you said, it was not just staring at the mirrors the whole time, but more so I would take a glance. I would see, okay, is he gaining, losing? Is he equal? Okay, with this, where does that put him in the next corner? That puts him 0.2. Okay, he's close enough to strike. So in that case, run mid-track, or in some cases, you see I just go all the way to the inside. Like,
Right.
If we're gonna do a game of if gap car, then guess what? No gap, no car. Problem solved.
Right. Yeah, he was definitely setting up for the exits and trying to position his car in different ways. So it was great to watch the differences in line and the racing there, you know, between you two, but also between Zach Alexander and Nick Aslin in the GT4s.
You know, that was fun. I got to watch a little bit of their fight as we did a Mach 1 flyby on them, and then a little bit of hip check-in through, but we made it, I think.
Yeah, the GT4 cars need a little bit of a bump from the big brothers, and you know,
it's just a sibling rivalry. It comes with it.
That's right. No harm.
Yeah, elbows up. You know, but it's all good. You had to do it because you were under pressure. The whole race. It was, like I say, real exciting to watch, Michael. Watching you drive your car and driving his car by placing your car in the right position. So, a master class. Congratulations on a great race, Michael. We're off for a week and then off to Spa next week or 2 weeks, and really looking forward to it. Anything else before we let you go? Congratulations on a great win.
Thank you. Honestly, it's just gonna be practice, because I know the thing is the Porsche isn't strong at Spa, but also the Vet isn't. The biggest thing is going to be me and him. Honestly, this is gonna sound weird. We're gonna have to have an alliance against Flag, because I know McLarens are fast. I know Ferraris should be coming up a bit more. So, and Acuras are another. Those 3 car manufacturers are gonna have a lot more on us at Spa. So maybe there'll be an alliance between us for that one. Just, hey, you push me, we survive McLarens and the Acuras and all that. So we'll have to play to the strengths and see what we can do.
That's right.
Well, you guys are already locked in. You guys are already locked in better on being on the same pit strategy than a lot of the NASCAR manufacturers at the super speedways. So shouldn't be too much of a stretch.
Multi-manufacturer alliance goes crazy.
That's right. We're halfway through the season. So much to look forward to. The Midwest Motorsports Road Series League. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Come back in 2 weeks and watch us go for an endurance race at Spa. For all the Midwest Motorsports admins that make this league great, I'm James J. For Adam Sondag, reminding you to stay in your lane.
And I approve of this message.
I also approve of the message. Great job, guys.
Yeah.